We're out here. So tonight we're looking at a really big performance from Nikola Vucevic. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. So big game for the big guy. Almost had a triple double. Another double double for Vooch. He's the double double king here in Chicago. We know he's serving up double doubles like it's in and out. And definitely an encouraging sign to see him hitting a clutch three and being there when the Bulls needed him the most at the end of the game. He was putting back shots all game. He has a lot of offensive rebounds as well. So it was a big game for Vooch and an encouraging one, definitely after he had a rough stretch, especially from beyond the arc. His 3 point shooting has not been great lately, admittedly, but big game tonight, and we love to see it. Zach LaVine left the game. He had an ankle injury. Um, came back briefly for a little bit, but then had to leave again. So don't know what the word is on that quite yet, but definitely something that we're gonna want to stay on top of. What's going on, y'all? Dub on TNT at last. That's right. That is right, my friend. LaVine is injured or is he good? Yeah, so he left the game. He didn't come back in the fourth quarter. It's not totally clear right now where he's at or what's going on. I think we're waiting to hear from Billy Donovan. He's probably going to be doing that press conference like right now, I would imagine. So we'll probably find out what the update is, but you know that they don't really talk much. They keep that close to the chest. So not totally sure. Let's see what else. Bulls posted a season high 74 points in the paint. Yeah, Vooch was feasting tonight. You know, the Raptors used to give us problems because of their size and their length. That doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. Um, Now, with the trades that they've made, shedding themselves of Siakam and Anobi, um, yeah, I mean, Vooch was able to feast. Even on Scotty Barnes, who had a decent game, yeah, Vooch was just bullying down low. Andre Drummond, he had a couple bully moments to himself. So good stuff. You expect any trades coming, even if it's just to help the roster to blow it up. Jojo, what's up? Yo, I mean, honestly, I feel like at this point, I'm starting to get concerned that they might not make any moves because one, continuity. We know that they're in love with that idea. Um, AK Mark, they love the idea of kind of keeping everybody together as long as they can. So there's a chance that they just kind of roll with this until the off season. There's also a chance though that the Lakers at the trade deadline get a little desperate. The 76ers maybe get a little desperate at the deadline. And maybe you could get them to bite. Maybe you could get one of those teams to give some money up, to give some picks ups, to give some players up to get LaVine, whoever it ends up being. I'm not sure, but um, I think that the Lakers with the whole Dejounte Murray stuff, I feel like they've been kind of setting up a smokescreen to try to drive down the value of LaVine. It's like, oh hey, we got this other guy we could trade for. So if you still want to do that trade, you better pony it up. But anyway, back to tonight's game. Back to tonight. Back to what the Bulls did to the Raptors in Toronto. DeMar DeRozan had another good game in his homecoming, his like fifth, sixth homecoming to Toronto at this point. He's had quite a few, but another good one for him. 24 points, 6 assists. You know, I thought that Coby White might have had the like low key, sneaky best game for anyone on the Bulls tonight. He was the closer down the stretch. He had that clutch shot to put the game away at the end, and I think his ability to keep the offense calm and steady, but also his ability to generate rebounds because he was also hitting the boards tonight. Coby White, what did he have? He ended up with he had 3 rebounds. I thought he had more than that. Well, either way, he had 3 assists. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong game here, man. ESPN, they got me fucked up. Did you see LaVine eye roll when the coach when he came back out? I saw LaVine. What I saw was he was frustrated when they took him out of the game. He threw that towel at the bench and he looked really, really frustrated. So hopefully that injury isn't something like more concerning. That sometimes LaVine I think that he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and with something like that, it's not good. I don't like to see him angry after tweaking his ankle like that. I think he's frustrated because he's missed so many games with injuries this season. I would hate to see him miss some more. But anyway, Coby White did have 8 rebounds. 6 of those were defensive. 2 of those were offensive rebounds. So Coby White, big game on the boards tonight. He was a plus 23 on the plus minus, 23 points as well. Plus 23 for Vooch as well. Big games for both of them. So shout out Vooch and shout out Coby White. They were the guys tonight. They really were. DeMar, Coby, and Vooch tonight. They were the closers. They were the big three down the stretch. Caruso had a clutch three as well, which was dope to see. Zach didn't have his strongest game when he was playing, unfortunately. He wasn't looking his best self. So hopefully whatever is ailing him right now, hopefully that ankle tweak doesn't end up being something long term. Because yeah, someone asked in the chat about trades coming up. You're not going to be able to find a trade partner for LaVine if he's going to be hurt. So it's not good whether you're a proponent of trading him or whether you want to keep him. Him being hurt is not good for either of those scenarios. So another player who had a good game tonight, Ayo Dosunmu, played 32 minutes off the bench, so he kind of filled in for Zach in the fourth when Zach wasn't able to go. Ayo played pretty much he played out the rest of the fourth down the stretch. He was a plus 10 on the plus minus, ended up with 10 points. Let's see, 5 assists. He was 4 for 9 from the field. Didn't hit any threes, but had a good game. Steady, solid game from Ayo Dosunmu. Good contribution from Patrick Williams tonight as well, 12 points. He had some nice shots. He had some three-pointers. So good to see Pat. Not really stuffing the stat sheet, but definitely scoring a bit, getting himself involved. So all around, big victory tonight for the Bulls. Love to see another victory for them. Right now, we're still sitting at 9th. We'll see what happens in the East. Let's see where we're sitting in terms of how many games back. Because it's tight right now. It's real tight right now. So the Bulls after tonight, 2023. Yeah, still going to be, what, probably 3.5 games back from being the eighth seed. It's not great. Not great position. They got to win some games if they want to come back. Bulls got to win some games if they want to get any traction here in the Eastern Conference. So let's see who's coming up next, because I think that our next game is going to be against the Grizzlies. So that's a tough one, but definitely a winnable game. Not the best season for the Grizzlies. Lots of injuries on that team. Hopefully they can ride this momentum into the next game and maybe get another winning streak going. It'd be nice to see, you know. Just like to see reverse one-handed jam. Wish he played more aggressive. Um, yeah, no, I don't mind Zach missing games. Unfortunate due to injuries, but it is what it is. It's just unfortunate, if he's not going to play, like you're not going to get anything from him being on the roster for this period of time. It's like you're just delaying that inevitable of trading him. Is that going to happen this offseason? Is that going to happen after this offseason at next year's trade deadline? It just seems like it's going to happen at some point. It feels like just do it already. I don't know. That's my perspective on things. But tough stretch coming up. We've got Phoenix, Los Angeles after Memphis. So those are two good teams out there in the Western Conference. We got that Western Conference road trip out to Portland. Then we're back home versus Toronto and then at Charlotte. So that'll get a little easier again. Then we'll have some national games coming up against Cleveland in February. And then another one in March against Milwaukee. I'm going to be at the game versus Dallas in March. I'm excited for that one. Sorry, just looking ahead. But Jojo in the chat, yeah, P will. I want to see him play a little more aggressive. First came back from that injury that had him out for a couple of games. So for Patrick, just settling into that. Hopefully he's feeling all right, feeling good after tonight. And yeah, we'll see him out there next game as well. Nothing too crazy for him. It was a solid, quiet game. He had that nice dunk, and he had a couple other opportunities that it looked like he wanted to get some dunks. We know how he is. We know how he's always looking for the big dunk. But I think more encouraging than that is that he knocked down 2 3-pointers. Like we know he's going to hit those dunks every now and then, but to see him hitting those 3-pointers, that's big. And one of them was a step back three. It was kind of like a pull up step back. So good stuff from Pat. Love to see that. But yeah, all around, good victory for the Bulls. It was a tight game. You'd probably like to see the Bulls put them away a little sooner. Maybe it doesn't come down to the wire as much as that one did. But, Raptors are one of those teams like you're still feeling them out. This is the first game for, a couple of their players and, first few games for a couple more. So teams are still going to have to feel out, what that roster looks like. So they might win some good games. Like they might sneak up on a couple teams over their next few games who aren't, prepared for what they have or don't have any tape on them quite yet. So that's kind of why, when you're going up against a fresh team like that, like Bruce Brown tonight, like that very easily could have been the dagger that put us away, was his performance. So in a game like this, you're just happy to see the Bulls pull it out. Win is a win. That's all that matters at the end of the night, right? But yeah, that's all I really wanted to hop on alive here to talk about was just this game. I felt like it was a good performance from everyone. A nice team performance all around. Would like to see Andre Drummond get some more minutes. That's something that's still kind of thorn in my side a little bit. I feel like he could have feasted a little bit more tonight as well with the Raptors going undersized and didn't get to see a whole lot of him. But let's see, Jojo. Hopefully they do that and smash LA and make Braun demand for a Caruso Zach trade. Hey, Caruso's another guy that's out there in the trade rumors, and it's interesting to think about what kind of value you could get if instead of trading Zach and Caruso together, imagine trading them in separate trade packages, getting draft compensation for Caruso, then getting like a package of young players and draft picks for Zach, maximizing that value. I feel like there's an opportunity there. Golden State really wants Alex Caruso. We know Steve Kerr loves Alex Caruso. Maybe the Warriors step in and maybe they want to make a Caruso trade, and maybe that kind of elevates the urgency level for the Lakers to get that LaVine deal done, and they see that we're actually starting to sell off some of the players. That's the one thing I feel like it hasn't happened yet, right? The fire sale hasn't begun yet, so I'm very curious if the Bulls do end up making a trade here. What's the reaction going to be from the rest of the league? Like if the Bulls trade LaVine, okay, do we have another team coming up as like bidding for DeMar DeRozan? Or is there a team asking about Nikola Vucevic at that point? It feels like if one dominoes start falling, right? If one trade happens, it seems like the cascading effect might cause some other trades to take place just based on the curiosity of other teams, just kind of feeling that out of like, what are the Bulls open to? Okay, they're willing to trade this guy. Like, what else might they be willing to do? So it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. The Bulls haven't pulled the trigger on any trades yet. So we have no idea what that could even look like yet. But it's very interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about what happens after the Bulls make a trade. Who's that? Who's next? Bulls make a trade with LaVine. Okay, who's next? What do you think about the growing speculation of attaching Lonzo's money to a trade? So that definitely makes sense, right? It makes sense from a salary standpoint. The question then becomes like, who are you trading for in that trade? Are you taking back, like an expiring contract? Are you taking back some sort of like big deal? Like, are you making a big trade for a big star that you need to shed that much salary to match that much salary? I don't know. I don't know what team would really want Lonzo. I like that's like an OKC Thunder kind of thing. It's like you could maybe get a team like that, but you'd have to give up a pick. So I understand the thought process of like shedding that salary, but ultimately I probably don't see that happening. I think Lonzo's just going to stay on the roster until he finishes his rehab, and probably rounds out the rest of his contract. That's my thought process on it. I don't see the Bulls trading Lonzo while he's hurt. If they won't even trade the players that are healthy, I don't know if they'll trade the players that are hurt. Um, yeah, seeing the dominoes fall. You an advocate for Caruso to be traded, or you rather him stay? See, this is a good question about Alex Caruso. In terms of him staying or going, I I always waver between the two because I think you could get so much value for him, and the Bulls aren't going anywhere. Like I would love to see Alex Caruso win another championship. I know he's going to be one of those players who probably ends up winning more in his career. So it'd be nice to see him on an actual contender. That's one side of it, and the Bulls could get a lot of value back for him. The other side of it is like he's such a good piece for a young developing team that if the Bulls do go that route of rebuilding, you have a guy on your roster who he's already helped Ayo Dosunmu. He's already helped Coby White. He's already helped Patrick Williams. Like he's already done so much for the players that are already on this roster. Think of what he could do for rookies coming in. Think of what he could do for the next rookie guard that comes in or the next rookie wing that comes in and needs to learn the ropes in the NBA. Like Alex Caruso is one of the number one guys that you can have on your team to do that, and he comes at such a bargain. Like his value, I know that it sucks to talk about human beings and players as value and pieces and things like that, but the truth is, like his contract is just such a valuable piece right now for the Bulls because he is on such a bargain. So honestly, it depends what the trade is, I guess. So I'm not an advocate for us to be like going out there trying to find a trade for him, but if a team comes to you and they're really willing to pony up for Alex Caruso, I'd be willing to listen, right? I'd be willing to hear them out. But I think that he's an important player if you think about what he means for a rebuild and what he means to young players. But yeah, another round of applause for the Bulls tonight. Another round of applause for a victory, hard earned by our boys out there in Toronto, in a different country, man. Repping the Bulls in Canada. And that's not easy to do. It's cold as shit outside, folks. It is very cold, and I'm sure it's probably colder up there. So shout out to the Bulls, man. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to anyone watching this. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to do Thursday night live streams. That's the goal. If I end up advertising it on Twitter and stuff, then it's for real. I just got to kind of get my stuff together. You saw at the beginning of this, I wasn't really prepared. So for these, I got to be a little more on top of my game. But I'm working on it. It's been nice making videos again, getting back in the flow of things. And yeah, I love being in front the camera, talking about Chicago sports, talking about the Bulls, sharing my thoughts, discussing with you guys. Always a good time. Always appreciate it. But yeah, it is cold. Chicago cold is different, and lately it's been kicking my ass. You got the long johns on, morning, noon, and night. Like there's no escaping it, and it fluctuates. It seems like it fluctuates. It seems like in the middle of the night I start to get a little hot, and then I wake up in the morning like cold as shit. I don't know. Everybody stay warm out there. Stay warm and stay safe. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Anyone who's watching right now, sincerely, sincerely, I do appreciate it for real. Means really, I love doing these videos. I love doing these live streams. I don't always have time for it. Sometimes the mental health stuff is kicking in. It's not easy to get in front of the camera, but when I'm able to do it, it fills my heart, man. So yeah, nothing like the lake slap. It's the lake. It's the wind. That wind chill, man. It cracks open my lips. It cracks open the ridges of my nose. It's not good. It's not good. But I'll leave you guys with this. Coby White, I think, is one of those players, one of those rare talents that you find every now and then, who's just gonna keep getting better. Every now and then you see one of those players who like I hate to bring it up. I know I did it before, but I'll do it again. Like Derrick Rose was one of those players where it was just like you could see every offseason he got better. I'm not saying Coby White necessarily could get to that MVP level. Not ruling it out either. I'm just saying he's one of those players with that rare ability each offseason to take his game to a new level, take his game to a new height. So I'm super stoked to see where he continues to go because it's not just like he's on a hot streak anymore. He's just that guy. He just is that dude. So I'm really excited to see where he could take that. So that's where I'll leave you guys. That's where I will leave tonight. Big victory for the Bulls. We'll see you guys again for the Grizzlies game. Hopefully another dub. Hopefully we'll be back on the stream talking about the victory. But thank you guys again for watching. Sincerely appreciate it.